Halifax doesn't introduce itself loudly. It doesn't flex like Toronto. It doesn't move like New York. It doesn't beg you to notice it. It sits there quiet, almost polite, like it's waiting to see if you're really paying attention. But under the harbor, under the old streets, under the tourist version of the city, there's another Halifax. A black Halifax, a hip-hop Halifax, a city with memory in the walls, rhythm under the pavement, and stories that never got the machine behind them the way other cities did. That's the Halifax I came looking for. And the first person who started opening that door was Quake Matthews.
Halifax hip-hop is everything to me. It became my identity from a very, very young age.
What stood out about Quake wasn't just what he had done as an artist. It was how quickly he understood the assignment.
The first time anyone in this city knew who I was, there was a rap battle going downtown at the Marquee. I was 15 years old. I wasn't even allowed in the club. And when I went in there, this kid, everyone was laughing at me, and I ended up winning. You'll never guess who I battled in the finals. Little's the General.
Oh, Little's the General, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, my guy. That's when everyone in the city started knowing who I was. From that point on.
I came to Halifax looking for the story beneath the surface, and almost right away, he started talking about connecting me with black artists in the city.
I don't do this because it's a smart business model. I do it because I live to do it. I'm on Ice Cube's newest album with a song featuring me and Scarface. I won a contest. When I did my entry, I named the file Ice Cube Contest Winner. One day I woke up out of my sleep to my phone blowing up from a nap everywhere. I was announced as the winner. I got to go meet Cube. Scarface was already a friend of mine, but he didn't know anything about the contest. I always used to bug him to do a song, and he always say, I'm retired. So I got to call him and be like, yo, we got a song together. He's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I won this contest. He's been kind of like a mentor and just a good friend of me, man, ever since.
Quake wasn't just pointing me toward music. He was pointing me toward the people carrying the culture.
So now we're on our way to Africville. What's your name, age, and what do you do?
What's going on? It's Trevor Silver from Trev Clothing. I'm from North Preston and Nova Scotia, and I have a clothing company. I design, I work in community, and I moved here.
Before I got too deep into the city, I had to stop here. The Pat Stay Mural isn't just a wall with a face on it. It feels like a marker, a reminder that Halifax produced voices that reached far beyond Halifax. Pat Stay had that East Coast sharpness, humor, danger, timing, confidence, the kind of presence you can't fake and can't teach. And standing there with Quake Matthews, it felt like the right place to acknowledge that legacy. Because Halifax hip-hop isn't only about who the mainstream remembers, it's about who the city refuses to forget. Africville is not just a historical site. That phrase almost makes it too clean, too finished, like something you visit, read about, feel bad for, and then leave behind. But Africville was a living community. Families, churches, children, food, arguments, music, faith, ordinary days, the kind of place that mattered because the people there made it matter. Then the city came, and like a lot of black history in this country, the violence didn't always arrive looking like violence. Sometimes it looked like paperwork, planning language, sanitation excuses, eviction notices, decisions made in rooms where the people most affected had the least power. But the story didn't end when the houses came down. That's what hit me when I got there.
Yo, it's Black Mob. I'm on a side quest. I am at Canada's longest
Civil rights, human rights protests in North American history. My grandfather, Eddie Carvery III, came out here to the lands in Africville in 1970.
And that's the heart of the civil rights movement. But he was determined for his people. The community of Africville was taken. The things that they did to my people over the course of 100 years, that's what he was standing for. And that's what he stood on until the day he died this year, Valentine's Day. And that's why we're here. The fight goes on. Africville is forever. Now let me take you back to the beginning. When the city of Halifax was founded, this is where we were. So they came from Britain, and the terms that they were using was servant, but them people were slaves. And when they brought them here to Halifax in 1749 with Edward Cornwallis, they used the people, my people, the people of Africville, my ancestors, to build the city, to dig the roads, to build the forts, to build the universities. And then when they were done with them in that sense, they moved them further out to the city where we're standing now in this beautiful prime piece of real estate to farm the land. In 1848, that's when the first actual land deeds were passed to the people of Africville. So if you can picture pre-Confederation, black people in Canada here on the East Coast, we own some of the primest real estate. This was it. Our people just took the journey of slavery and now we ended up here. For what our ancestors fought for, it was slowly being taken. And that's why my grandfather stood on this ground. And that's why he did his protest, why he came back to Africville, to show not only his people, but all people, that some things are worth fighting for. And Africville, to this day, we stand because it's still worth fighting for.
Eddie Carvery spent decades refusing to let Africville be buried under polite Canadian memory. And even after his passing, his people still show up. Every Friday. Not for nostalgia, not for performance. Because some wounds do not become history just because a country learned how to apologize. Eddie Carvery was not a perfect man. His life carried controversy, and that should not be ignored. But the truth of Africville is bigger than any one person's flaws. Standing there, it felt less like I was visiting the past and more like I had walked into a question Canada still hasn't answered. What do you owe a people after you take the land, break the community, rename the pain, and then ask everyone to move on? Africville is not gone. It is still there in the descendants, in the protest, in the ground, and in the distance between apology and repair. But the deeper you go into Halifax, the more you realize the music is only one doorway. You can't talk about Black culture here without eventually arriving at Africville. And once you get there, the whole tone changes. From there, the story opened up again. I linked up with Universal Soul, an old school collective that carries memory in a different way. Not paperwork memory, not government file memory, real memory. The kind that lives in music, in stories, in rehearsals, in jokes, in names, and in people who remember what was happening before anybody outside the city cared.
I'm Shy Love, hailing from Square Town, Squizzy, Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Yes, ma'am.
We sitting in Africville right now. This is where my dad comes from.
What does it mean to you, and does it add to the hip-hop culture here as well?
Absolutely. Musically, the people from Africville, there was just a lot of people who were into music, talented naturally, going back, way back, so music is in the blood. My father, he used to be in a band when he was younger. My mom, the same thing, and like our whole family.
Why do people overlook Halifax hip-hop?
Systemically, it's not set up for us.
Hey, what's up? This is Fizz, the baritone of soul from Universal Soul. Man, we started from way, way back in the day. Good 1989, right up on Gardigan Street. And that's how we got down. And we've been here ever since, still doing it, still representing, and still bringing it to you.
If you can sum up Halifax hip hop in a couple sentences, what would you say?
Oh man, it's kind of like a melting pot right now. So like everybody's into it, but when we were doing it, there was only selected few. MCJ and Cool G, the Care Crew, oh my gosh, the Finesse Ladies, New Beginning. Like we had some, the Wright Brothers, DJ Joe Run.
Energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are names that the YNs need to learn.
Yeah, so those are names that they don't know, but those are names that will never be forgotten.
Tactician, aka Tracy Williams. I am a member of Universal Soul from Creighton Street, Brunswick Towers, and New Glasgow in the building.
If you can also sum up Halifax hip hop in a couple phrases as well. What's going on right now?
There's a lot of diversity. A lot of people that didn't necessarily start when the game started that are in the game. It seems like everybody's an MC now, and everybody's a DJ. But when we started, it was vibrant. It was our music. It was something that defined us as a whole generation. It was ours back in the day.
Is it more like the smoking music now?
It depends on the artist, man. It depends on what they're bringing to the table. A lot of people could say that, but in my personal opinion, it just depends on the artist. It's it's different for everybody.
So it's not like the trap or the smoking music like Kill 'Em and your ops.
Some artists are doing that. Some artists are keeping it real. Some artists are keeping it traditional.
Yeah.
Am I old enough to say that now?
Well,
You know what I mean? Like some people are keeping it traditional boom bap. Some people are going to that trap. Some people are going to that experimental. Some people sound like Squizzes from UK. Like doing that type of sound.
The boys are doing that over here?
Yeah, some people are doing that.
Oh man, that's crazy.
You have to explore them all. Then you got the Quakes who he bounces all over the place.
Well,
you get a whole lot of different.
He's one of the rap guys. I would say. You don't see like a resurgence of mature adult music.
I see, to tell you the truth, I see a huge resurgence of it, and I think it's about damn time.
Yeah, like guys over 40 getting back in the game, making music and thriving.
You're seeing Rakim come up with a new album, seeing LL with a new album, you're seeing Meisner getting ready to do a new album, seeing Universal Soul getting ready to do a new album, seeing Shia Love probably coming up with some stuff in the next little bit. Like you see a whole lot of people that are over 40 that are doing their thing.
It's amazing.
I mean, the funny thing is that hip hop's the only music genre in the world that they put an age limit on it.
That's a crazy thing.
It's funny how you can see April Wine come back here. Them men are old enough to be my grandparents, and they're selling out the Scotia Bank Center.
Yeah, well,
so
I mean,
where's the sense in that?
That's right. And seeing guys like Jay-Z the other day,
killing it with the Roots from the Roots Picnic. I caught it.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But the fact of the matter is, it's just it seems like this music is, again, they try to keep us back. They try to keep us down.
Yeah,
it's making money, and they bought into that. And you guys know what I'm talking about. But they're still trying to keep us divided, still trying to keep us back. They're not trying to let us, be free, when it comes to our music.
I look at it like a lens, right? Like the big thing is like, you got these young guys doing this, right? But they still need guidance.
Yeah.
When you're doing a show, I'm the biggest critique. And not because I'm the old guy in the room, but because I know how to rock a crowd. MC is master of ceremonies. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when you see somebody that's not mastering what they're supposed to be doing, you still got food on your plate, right? So you got to eat it. You got to eat it all up. My big thing is what we're doing right now, what we're all doing right now is laying down the guidance level. Letting people know that, we're still here, we're still doing it. And if you forgot, we'll remind you.
Well, it's funny, we still try to keep the elements of hip hop, man. B-boying, breakdancing, DJing, MCing, graffiti. And that's the way I've been living since the 80s. Since the 80s. And I got two witnesses here. That's how I live my life, myself personally. But in the same breath, it's just kind of what we're trying to keep bringing out in the music.
This may vary from region to region, but if you can give me your Mount Rushmore of Canadian hip hop, that'd be great.
Okay, my top 5 MCs of all time: King Rain out of Toronto.
All right,
look him up. Yeah. Bonshai from here. Socrates is up there, yes. Maestro, of course. Butter Babies. I got to put the Rascals in there. I love the Rascals. Checkmate is my guy too. I love him.
Let's go. That's what's missing in Halifax hip hop.
Venues.
I mean, that's all over Canada. Could you elaborate a little more?
Well, it's places for artists to express themselves, to play, to actually make $1.00 when it comes to this genre of music, whether it's hip hop, R&B, soul, rhythm, whatever music that is our music. There's not a lot of venues for us around here. You know what I'm saying? In this part of the world. And as you're saying, with Toronto, we were just talking about this a second ago. Places like the Horseshoe, which are synonymous with world-class performances coming through there, they're being half full now. It's happening. You know, I'm hearing that Montreal, like, you know, atomic. That's it's not being full anymore. You know, like, come on, man. Like, that's craziness.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Back in the day, I can remember a thing that doesn't happen anymore. The word of artist development, right? We had teen bars. We had places that, you know, we'd have to gig with punk bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Open mics, right? So just to be able to hone in on your craft before you really put it out to the masses, right? That part of it is missing. Being able to just record, put your music out, put it on SoundCloud, you know, put it on YouTube, TikTok, whatever, and just sort of fold your arms and go, I'm the greatest. Is nothing. If you can hone in on your craft and take time to do it, that is the part that's missing.
Yeah.
I see guys like Classified. He goes on tour every year.
Yeah.
Every year like clockwork. I had him on my podcast 2 years ago, and then or 3 years ago, and every year I've been watching him. This guy goes on tour coast to coast, like clockwork. What's stopping us from doing that?
The funding. You know, you become a part of, you know, getting things done that way, and, you know, you become favored. So, you know, he might put in for a grant, I might put in for a grant, but because he's known and this and that or whatever, with, you know, to the inside world, I'm sure he would get it before me.
So it's all about the funding, the grant thing.
Yeah, so the money to put these things up. But we know Classified, you know, we don't really know who you are kind of thing. So they're going to go with that, you know, treatment before they go with, you know, the unknown person kind of thing. So it's really hard, right?
Hopefully there's going to be a kid in Nova Scotia or Halifax, greater Halifax area watching it, and he's melanated, he or she's melanated. What's your message for them, and if they want to get into hip hop or into music in general?
If there's something, you know, you want to know, if there's something you need, it's out there. Press, figure out what it is. Don't become discouraged just because, you know, what seemed like a dream seems hard to attain. It's not hard to attain. You just got to learn your business. Get your business right. You know, you can be by yourself, put a track on the radio, get it all registered and everything, and that can put money in your pocket. Like, there's more to just the glitter and, you know, the glitter and the lights. It's not all about that. It's about the business. Get the business together and everything should be better.
I'll say this as well. Put those government-funded programs that are out there to help you get into the music business to work. Don't just think that they're not there to help you. Make them help you.
I think the thing that set us apart is that we wear our heart on our sleeve, like we were original, right? I think the biggest thing right now is like not being original, right? Like being a copycat. Be yourself. Elaborate what that means. Never mind listening to something and thinking that that's what it is. Like be yourself. Be your most authentic self.
Set the trend.
Yeah. Like set the trend as opposed to being followed.
As opposed to following it.
Yeah. Because we had really nothing to follow other than a feeling.
Yeah. I'm in the center of gentrification. This is Africville. I'm actually mobbing with the locals here, and they're showing me everything that I need to know about this place. Now, I got a question for y'all. Is gentrification hitting your guys' province or area?
Absolutely.
Of course.
I left the province for 20 years, and what a difference. You almost don't recognize your own neighborhood. It's crazy. Yeah.
Growing up on Gottigan Street, when you were able to see all the corner stores, all the people that are from there,
Triple A, Joe's Market.
You got it. And then they leave, right? And then you've got to go outward to go shop, out of your community. Banks, stores, community's gone.
We had
right?
sold
and
gas
then,
on Gottigan.
And then the worst piece about it is that then you've got people coming in who buy it for low and make something out of it.
And sell it for high.
And they don't sell it. They don't sell it to you guys.
No.
They do not.
No.
Yeah, they do not.
No.
And it's a slap in the face because it's the thing that connected us, and the most recognizable thing is that when you disperse our people, we don't have power. We're not as strong, right? That's the tough part.
It's like the breakdown of hierarchy, you know?
Yeah, man.
In the community, you know, you take the grandparents, you take the parents, you know, like, and then it's just basically what they did with the community, you know, move them out, buy them out, you know, kick them out, you know, whatever they had to do to get their hands on the property. And now, you know, hey, you know, gentrification, it's life, you know, whatever.
This is the start of it right here. And it just worked its way down.
Yeah, you know, Africville right here.
It started right here and it worked its way down.
Fighting.
Corey writes, Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'm an artist, I'm an author, I am a creator.
Oh, you're an author.
Arts.
How many books have you authored so far?
One so far, 2's done. I don't know why it's out, just procrastinating, and 3.
Did you self-publish?
Yeah.
I wrote a book myself, and I'm in the situation where should I self-publish or should I, you know, go through publications and shit?
Self-publish, why would you want to go through publications? The only thing they can give you is a little bit of distribution, but you're giving up a piece and you don't really need to.
Yeah.
Because if it's good, people will find it, and if they don't, their children will find it. I'm honestly here for any fucking creative. Don't let them put you in a box. If you do 7 different things, do not dumb yourself down because they say you're an artist, you're a rapper, you're this, you're that. You're not. You're whatever you think you can be. And if no one can believe it, who cares? It's not their vision. And I'm telling you, it works.
What is Halifax hip hop and what does it sound like to you?
Halifax hip hop, it's so different from any other place for the simple fact, we as a people, we've been here before Canada was a country. So we already had rhythm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we was already doing the damn thing, right? And then, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was, and then it was like in the 80s, it's like, you know, you're seeing stuff in like the mid 80s. I was just a little young pup, but 80s, late 80s is where it popped off, where I noticed that I had consciousness as a youngin'. And then, you know, I just ran with it, and I always did poetry, and, you know, I won a contest, something about leaves in the fall or something like that. And that was great too. And I just always loved putting stuff together. But then I found, like, man, like, I listen to different artists, and it's so inspiring now because I feel like artists are coming back to their creativity.
Any messages for your fans and anything popping out? You said you have music coming out?
Yeah, I got music coming out. Albums dropping soon. I'm gonna drop the visuals for it. I'm not gonna tell you the date yet, but yeah.
And then there's radio. People act like radio doesn't matter anymore. But in a city like Halifax, nah, bruh. Radio is still relevant. Because before somebody becomes next up, before the blogs catch on, before Toronto starts acting like they found the wave, somebody in the city gotta press play first. Somebody gotta hear the record and be like, yo, run that. That's what I got from talking to R.S. Smooth.
So my name is Ryan Summers, aka RS Smooth. I've been DJing for a long time, really doing radio. I started back in 1993 on the Dalhousie University station, CKDU. And a big shout out to DJ Delight, aka Kendall Mulder, and rest in peace. But he was the one that literally, this is how it all started for me. My father had his own business. He used to take me everywhere in the truck. When he would go get supplies, he turned back the key, if you know what that, I don't even think you can do that these days, but yeah. Turn back the key, I'd scan the radio, and then I heard this one station, CKDU, and I was like, what is this? And I found out you could volunteer and be on the air. I'm like, what? And I just cold called DJ Delight. There's a show that came on Sundays at like 6 o'clock. He told me to come in. I did it over March break. It was incredible to me. And then he was like, hey, you want to come back the next week? I'm like, what? Like, for real? Okay, great. And then we ended up co-hosting that show from 93 to 97. That's how it started for me.
Tell me about the current state in Halifax hip hop.
I mean, there's a lot of people doing it. Like, the thing with me is, because I've been involved for so long, I still, like, I try to really look for who's doing it now in 2026. Like, my show isn't just, oh, let's play songs from 30 years ago. Like, I'm very much a 2026, very latest, current. I play like R&B, hip hop, soul, rap, reggae, soca, Afro beats. I try to like play all of that. And then if anyone locally has any of that kind of music, I always look for it and try to play it. So there's a lot of people, I think a lot of younger people that are doing it. I think right now trying to be the bridge between some of those younger people, you know, being known by some of the older people and the crowd. So that's sort of what I try to do now, is try to find those artists who would maybe fit some of those shows, so it's not always the same old people doing the opening.
Yeah. So in Toronto, we have a problem with smoker music, you know, serial killer music. you know, ops and shit.
Yeah.
And we have that over here?
I mean, I don't know. I would imagine there's some young people that are doing it. I don't really hear it myself. I do think, like, one thing I noticed about Toronto, and even happens at here in Scotia, is sometimes, like, what is the sound? What is the Toronto sound? Like, can somebody say, like, I think it was easier when it was Cardinal and them, that we were like, okay, it's very Caribbean influence, it's still rap, but, you know, but nowadays, I don't know, sometimes it sounds like Atlanta, it sounds like Texas or Detroit or New York, you know what I mean? And that's cool in some ways, but what is the defining Toronto sound? So in Scotia, the same way, it's like, what is the sound that is of Nova Scotia? There's a lot of, like, if you want to say conscious artists, but it's more or less cultural. Like they're talking about the culture and things that are happening here. And, you know, but some would say, if you look at it classified, is that the sound of Scotia? It's his sound for sure. I don't know if it represents all Scotian artists. So I think there's a lot of diversity here. What is the Scotian sound? It's hard to say. So I think a lot of young people are just making the music that they know, you know, whether it's something that sounds like today, or I'm always like shocked, or when somebody doesn't sound like today, that's when I usually take notice. I'm like, what? You're consciously trying to sound like 90s hip hop? Like, why? Like, how do you know that? You know, and then it's their influences, or maybe somebody above an OG or whatever put them onto us. So that's what I usually try to gravitate towards.
Before we go, tell me, if somebody were to go on YouTube or Spotify or whatever, and they want to hear the Halifax sound or the song that defines Halifax, past, present, and future.
I think what I would say is Welcome to Nova Scotia, Ghetto Child, because it's an anthem, it's hype, but it also, if you listen to what he's saying, it explains a lot about, you know, Scotia and in general, the history here, not necessarily just hip hop history, but like the culture here. If you listen to what he's saying, that I would say put somebody onto that. Hopefully someone would come away from that and say, oh, I want to know more about that, or tell me more about this, you know what I mean? What is this Africville, blah, 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 that kind of thing. Celebrating, actually, this coming Sunday is 28 years on the air. I've been on CKDU for 33 years.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
I'm more than privileged speaking to you.
I appreciate it.
Is there any artists right now people should watch out for coming out of Halifax?
I mean, I play so many different things, so it's not necessarily just rappers, but I really like Notes. He spells his name Knotez. Notes. Caleb Simmons, amazing. Caleb Simmons and Andrew Winter got this song called Lord Willin'. Incredible. Yeah, Quake Matthews, of course. You know, I'm trying to think of younger. There's a couple like others that are bubbling here and there, you know what I mean? But you'll hear them soon enough for sure.
Before the night really started, I chopped it up real quick with Ghetto Child. Just him speaking from where he's from, and you could feel it right away. This wasn't somebody explaining Halifax to me like a tour guide. This was somebody letting me hear the city from the inside. And once you hear it that way, the night doesn't feel random anymore. It starts feeling like the city is about to show you something.
Yo, Black, what's up, player?
You telling me, brother, what's going on? Tell me
we down in the Ville right now. When I say the Ville, I mean Africville, Halifax, Nova Scotia. To the ones that don't know, it's a lot of black culture down here. This is independent land that we owned back in the day. Our own mailmen, our own independence, and then the government took all this. And he'll show some clips of the land, the view that you're not seeing as I'm talking right now.
Was there any reparations paid?
No, no reparations, man. And it's been in discussion for a lot of years, but it never really came down to it. And where you're at, I don't know if you interviewed young Eddie.
I did.
Yeah, that's Eddie III. So his grandfather was the main one that protested for the last 50 years here for Africville. Like, and that's dedication. You got to give it to the determination that he had for his people. And now that he's gone, sorry to say, everybody's kind of stepping up, but nobody was stepping up when he was here. But we did ride for him, don't get me wrong, you know what I mean? So we always had him front line.
Tell the people about your hip hop and where they can find you.
My name is Ghetto Child, born and raised Uniacke Square, half black, half white. So I've been, like, check it out, I'm on my own now, in these streets all alone now. I was the oldest child, half black, half white, so I'm a light boy. White boys call me a nigga, and my niggas will call me white boy. So I had to diverse through the narrative of stigmatic and biased, racist stuff. You know what I mean? And Halifax, we have a lot of black kids, is white and black. Like where you're from, Toronto, there's diversity, authenticity of different nationalities, right?
Yeah.
Down here, we were always white and black. there was never the minority of.
Yeah.
Now, Chinaman was always with us. Chinese was always here, white, black. But now we're Asian, sorry. But now we're getting the diversity of all the other cultures. You know what I'm saying? But it was always white and black. So
would you say the race relations here have progressed, or are they still behind?
It's not about progression because we have, like I said, diversity of different nationalities now. A lot of Syrians, a lot of Africans, Somalians, and stuff like that. But the original ones will always be stuck in our ways, if that makes sense. Like the whites, the blacks, and the whites. You know what I mean? Now it's more diverse with different nationalities, but back then it was that. But we're always gonna stay the same way because that's how we were always born into it. You know what I mean? So it did develop and it did progress, but that old Nova Scotia hip hop street mentality will always be here.
So I'm day 2 in Halifax, looking for Halifax sound. Haven't found it yet. I will be going downtown tonight to the clubs to see if I can hear the sound. Is there a Halifax noise? I don't know. Hasn't shown itself yet, but we'll find out soon enough. It was pretty cool meeting those folks yesterday and checking out their catalog and what they had to say. And going to Africville yesterday was really humbling. You could definitely feel the spirits of the people who live there. You could definitely see how it was. You could hear the hurt in their descendants' voices, and it's just, yeah.
After that, I went to Uniacke Square at night, and I'm not going to lie, the city felt different after dark. Not scary, not on some fake hood tour content thing, just real. When a place is quiet, but it isn't empty? Like, nothing crazy is happening, but you can feel the place still talking? That's what it felt like. The buildings were there, the blocks were there, people were outside, but the whole place had this energy like, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you better listen before you start talking. Africville showed me what got taken. Uniacke showed me what kept moving. That's the difference right there. One place shows you the wound, the other shows you the pulse. And standing there, I kept thinking, culture doesn't always need a stage. It doesn't always need a festival. It doesn't always need somebody from outside pulling up with a camera, acting like they discovered something. You know what I mean? Sometimes the culture is just there, in the cut, on the block, in the way people move, in the way people look at you like, yeah, you're here now, but do you actually get it? And that's what hit me. A lot of people drive past these places thinking there's nothing to see. But really? They're missing the whole story. And then, inside R&B Kitchen, I met Lindsay Meisner. That moment kind of summed up Halifax for me, because the talent wasn't always where you expected it to be. It wasn't always on stage, with lights and a crowd. Sometimes it was right there, in the middle of a regular day, working, talking, moving like everybody else.
Why the hell is it called R&B Kitchen?
Our owners know everything there is to know about R&B music. It goes deep within the family, R&B soul music. So it only made sense making soul food. We got to represent, so we're always playing the tunes here. I'm a musician, I work here. One of the owners is a rapper, et cetera, so it goes deep with the family.
Yeah. You're a singer?
I am. I'm a soul and R&B singer-songwriter. My name's Lindsay Meisner, and I've been here for 3 years. So I like working here because that's just one of my side hustles, but it's my favorite job of all my jobs because I love the family, obviously, that owns it, and my mind is just off everything. I get to sing R&B the whole time that I'm here, so couldn't be better.
There's no
Working here is the reason that I was able to put out my album. So if anything, that's the thing about R&B Kitchen. It's not just soul food, it's not just R&B. This is a family that supports people in the community, not just me, but young kids coming up starting doing dishes here, and then they move up and they move up. This family is a very supportive family, and they definitely look out for the community, and I think that's what makes R&B Kitchen so special and important to the community, because not everyone's hiring the kids these days.
No.
Like, come on now.
Tell me about it. All right. Tell the people, first of all, your artist name and your IG and how they can find you.
So my name is Lindsay Meisner. It's spelled Lindsay, and then my last name is spelled a little different, so it's Misiner. I am the only one in the world because my grandfather changed it on his children's birth certificates because he didn't like his brother. So I'm literally the only Lindsay Meisner on the entire planet, and I made sure of it too.
That's sick. You have a very amazing voice.
Thank you.
Where do you channel that from, and what was the first time you heard R&B?
Where do I channel my voice from? Well, I've been singing literally since I came out of the womb, so it's just within me. It's my entire identity. It's who I am. I was put in this life specifically to be a vessel, I believe, and my way of putting that out there is through the craft of music, to help others through my voice, so in my messaging. When did I first start listening to R&B? Well, I've been listening to soul music like my whole life, and then I kind of got into R&B in my late teens, like kind of contemporary R&B / like neo soul, and then as I grew into my later 20s, I kind of fully embodied my classic soul upbringing with a little bit of contemporary R&B and pop.
Rapid questions. Christina Aguilera or Britney Spears?
Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, let's go. Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey?
Whitney. Don't even gotta think about that.
Okay, before we go, quickly, tell me about what is the Halifax sound?
The Halifax sound, ooh, we're real. I mean, we got a little bit of everything. We have soul and R&B, we have pop, we have a lot of hip hop, an amazing hip hop scene. A lot of young kids on the come up doing hip hop too, which I love to see.
Can you drop some names?
Oh, that's the worst. Okay, Basil, Shawnee 22, although he doesn't live here anymore. We got Aquaculture, an amazing artist and philanthropist from Nova Scotia.
Any old school names for people outside of Nova Scotia, Halifax, like Ontario, whatever?
Old school. Tachichi, Ghetto Socks. What are they called? The ones you met up with? Or Universal Soul.
Yep.
So we got Cindy Kane, we got Renee Smith. She's not old school, but she's around and she sings like she's old school. So Putty Provo, he's actually like a part of this family, and he's been singing.
All right. And what's your message to up and coming artists out of Halifax? What are your suggestions? Things that you would have done differently?
Honestly, like a bunch of people are always going to come at you telling you, do this, do that, you should do this, you should do this genre. Literally, like, yes, listen to them a little bit, but do exactly what you know you need to do and don't stop doing it. Literally, do not stop. If this is the career and the life that you want, it might take a while. Like, I'm literally 30. I've been doing this. Sometimes life gets in the way. Pick back up. Keep going. Do not stop until you get exactly where you're trying to go, because you will get there. But if you stop, you probably won't.
We are outside of the R&B Kitchen. Like and subscribe, baby. Peace.
Then all of a sudden, you realize there's a whole voice in front of you, a whole artist. And that's what I started to respect about the city. Halifax doesn't always announce the scene. Sometimes you have to catch it in real time.
All right, so I'm headed to the airport. Some afterthoughts. Halifax, hip hop. I came here expecting to be in some rooms, watching people record. I came here expecting to see a vibrant scene. It is 2026 after all, but when I got here, all I could see was a void, remnants of hip hop, people talking about how the past, and there's a lot of pain, unsettled pain here, and that talk speaks to the greater Canadian conversation. But is hip hop alive in Halifax? I don't think so. It didn't feel like a town where it was allowed. It didn't feel like a town that it was. And this is going for the Halifax and Dartmouth greater area. I mean, some pockets you'll find it, but it was an expression like how you would see in Toronto, Montreal, in Ottawa. who knows where my adventures take me to when it comes to Canadian hip hop, but Halifax definitely had it. Does it have it now? I don't know. Maybe one or two artists that that are featured here are keeping it alive, but other than that, it just felt very empty. This is Black Mob. Peace.